Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Chad Niddle.
Hey! It's Bark, and I've got Arms to my left and Knit to my right. And that's not even true. It's reverse of that, but that's okay.
Back.
We are, and we're going to have a little bit of air conditioner noise, so we apologize. But it's really hot in the studio.
I just want to whisper in your ear, I'm right behind you.
Oh.
And once again, Lambert to his rear.
Oh, Lambert to my rear.
Typical Friday.
My dear rear. Okay, so you're getting this episode the same exact moment you get the first episode. We just were running out of time. We like our in-depth analysis, and we like what Lambert's bringing to the table, so we're going to split it up into 2 episodes for you. And, guys, where did we leave off? We left off, did we have anything else to say about Jags-Titans, or you want to get straight to the Bungles and the Panthers?
Bengals-Panthers.
Let's do it. Bengals, Panthers.
Who's in, who's out, Arms?
Mixon out. Olsen out. Preston Brown questionable. And I think he's only practices limitedly.
I certainly am not leaving him in like me and you both made the mistake of doing in different leagues last week.
That was just
MFL snafu.
Yeah, MFL didn't show whenever you checked your score who was out, like live scoring. It normally has their injury designation.
As experts, I'm disappointed in us.
Yeah, I'm disappointed as well.
Lazy.
I mean,
lazy.
that's what brought on, honestly, part of the me going down the injuries thing, because it got me.
That's 3 of the top guys in the industry. I don't think we have an excuse for that.
There's no excuses when it comes to telling the viewers.
I apologize to Matthew Berry after that happened.
I made a sacrifice to Matthew Berry.
Which child?
No. I cut a player in honor as my sacrifice to Matthew Berry.
He would accept that.
Yeah, I mean that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I cut Brandon Marshall as a sacrifice to the Godfather of fantasy football.
Yeah.
That's a
pretty
lie. I
swell of
haven't
you.
had Brandon Marshall literally ever.
Paying your respects.
Yeah. Who you got? Andy Dalton? Started off Andy Dalton. He had a nice game week 2. I like this offense. I like AJ to get it going again.
Caught Arms off guard. I don't.
Andy
They're starting to click.
Excuse me?
I mean, AJ Green is a must start every week.
Yeah, AJ Green's gonna week in, week out start, but getting to Tyler Boyd, man, that dude looks like
stole it out of my
possession.
mouth.
Absolutely.
That's all I
John
wanted
Ross.
to
Get out of my mouth, Knit.
John Ross unplayable. Get out of here.
Might as well
It's Tyler
try.
Boyd time.
John Ross. I just don't understand.
Negative fantasy points last week.
To me, Tyler Boyd being that great compliment to an AJ Green. He's in that wide receiver 3-4 territory.
Up and coming, baby.
I think he's only going to progress. He looks to be getting better and better, and that
The only problem in his game is AJ Green's on his team.
Yeah,
Not to mention, I mean, no Mixon, like you said.
and you factor in Gio
Yeah.
as being such a good pass catching back.
Right, but not exactly ball control running guy. Boyd's going to have more target opportunities.
Yeah, but to me, all that says is Andy Dalton is a very playable option this week.
Definitely.
That's what I'm saying. I think he stays hot. I think he throws like two plus touchdowns. Could get a third in there.
Red rifle.
So to kick over to the Carolina Panthers side of the ball.
Do we like real quick? Man,
Eifert,
just like that. Tyler
Croft,
Eifert.
no. I don't
Okay.
like any of their tight ends until they commit to one. Like
Not
they're
feeling it either.
Pure rotation at tight end in Cincinnati, and they're all very similar.
But that's
that's props to them.
Great for the
fresh.
team. Great for the team, bad for fantasy purposes.
Yeah.
I'll stray away from their tight ends until Tyler Eifert gets hurt and they have to devote to somebody else.
Yeah, well, like their tight ends will catch collectively 7 or 8 balls a game. It's just
collectively.
It's divided between 3 guys.
Yeah, I mean 2 balls a game is nothing. I mean even if you get a touchdown with 1 catch, it's not a good week.
Funnest name in football, CJ Uzomah. But he's getting just
Oh no,
much playing time.
Fideculum's pretty fun.
Fideculum is the greatest name in
Sounds
fantasy
like
football
a
right now.
Japanese STI.
Boom.
I got some Fideculum when I went overseas.
God,
Had to
gross,
get a
man.
vaccination for
If
my
anyone here would have,
Fideculum.
if anyone here would have Fedegulum, it would be Jeremy Barker.
Oh, what?
Jeremy
Come on,
Barker
man.
probably has Fedegulum, and they don't know what it is.
Can we
yet.
use past tense at least and say maybe at one
Had-
time in the past he got Fedegulum?
Look, dude,
You
once
never get rid of it.
once you have
All
it,
right.
you have
Hey,
Fedegulum for life.
Fedegulum's the gift that keeps on giving.
You can't cut him.
I try not to say
Can't
bad
cut
words, but I'm so glad I can be your little show whore.
Flip it over to Carolina, man. Christian McCaffrey, get him to those 50 yards I call week in and week out, rushing the ball, chip in 7+ receptions week in, week out. I think he's very playable here again. Cincinnati does give up fantasy points to running backs, and I like Christian McCaffrey in this game.
I like Funchess, too.
You ever say I'm going to play Funchess, and give me a DJ Moore sighting. Someone's going to have to.
He showed up last week a little.
This is God. It's weird to say this is a pretty good Bengals team.
Seems that way.
I think they're playoff caliber.
They're 10-6 level team right now. That's the way
Out week
that's
one.
the way they're playing. Of course, they're out week one. They've still got Marvin freaking Lewis, whatever his name is. But someone's going to have to step up above and beyond Funchess for Carolina to be able to get in this game. I still think, as you say, McCaffrey, he's going to eat. He's going to get 7, 8, 9, 10 receptions, probably around 50 rushing yards. But receiver wise, I'll play Funchess, and
If you're in a pinch, you can play DJ Moore and
in a
hope that
pinch.
progression, just one more week of development.
That
helps
long
his
touchdown,
game.
That's
a fluky.
It's kind of boom or bust.
Let's not forget, Jarius Wright has played well. Even last week when DJ Moore caught a touchdown, Jarius Wright put up double-digit points. Cam Newton, they have said that he likes Jarius Wright. Hasn't had a receiver like him in a while. He's a sneaky guy that you could stick in, play him from behind, because I think the Bengals are good. I think the Panthers will be playing from behind. I like Jarius Wright, and I like Funchess. Not sure about DJ Moore quite yet. They say they're going to get him more throws, but, man, the opposite side, the team they're playing, Bengals said they were going to give Joe Mixon more carries every game of last season. It didn't happen until the last 3 games. I think DJ Moore will get a few more games before he gets rolling.
Yeah, never more than like three receptions in a game, sadly. But that's because Jarius Wright is decent and Devin Funchess. But you just can't say. I mean, you almost want to shy away from all of them too. But other than in this matchup, week in, week out, usually you stay away. But in this matchup, I do like Funchess.
You hate to say I'm starting Funchess.
Cam Newton's going to
Funchess
have one
as
of his
a
best
3.
games. Yeah.
Man, you see him starting Funchess this week?
Oh man.
I mean, if you're in a pinch, Funchess is fine number 3.
Yeah. You can't be faulted for throwing him in there. I mean, Olsen's gone. No tight end stepped up. Funchess is a pretty good bet for some production.
He's pretty much a tight
Just
end.
not exciting. It's like, you're getting 7 for 77 if you put Funchess in.
Yeah.
For some reason, that line
makes sense.
It's Funchess 7 for 77.
I haven't even looked at his stats,
Triple
but I
saves.
feel like that's probably what he did the last 2 consecutive weeks.
And a lot last year. I think a lot of times last year was 7 for 77. I just got a feeling on it. Do we like Cam in this one? Cam, we don't, like Arm said a week ago, we don't really like Cam as a thrower all the time, but the fact remains he gets goal line carries and he gets rushing opportunities.
40, 50 yards a game.
Serious
He
question.
puts up so many
Did
points.
you know Funchess did 7 for 77 last week?
Probably. It's
I was
probably
going to
why
say,
I
I'm
said
like,
it.
that is insane.
But look at his last year. I'm pretty sure there was maybe a couple 7 for 77s. Or there's definitely some 7s for 70-somethings.
He likes Seagram's 7. There's something.
Yeah, he believes in the process, so he
Something-
goes
something
7 for
70 is
76.
7 up and
Yeah. But
Yeah.
back to Cam, dude. Cam's a
Lucky number 11.
great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
not great, but okay.
I agree with Lambert.
It's somebody's favorite movie.
I doubt
You
it.
just have a huge man crush on Josh Hartnett.
Who doesn't?
So-
Who doesn't?
Anyway, Cam Newton, puts up points.
Dude, I think he has one of his better games. This is his game where he's going to get a rushing touchdown. Going to throw 1 or 2. I mean, I'm seeing a 3 total touchdown game for him. He's going to get his rushing yards. He's going to throw it around the field a little bit, dink and dunk. So, definitely playable. Not top 10 guy, but not going to hurt with him
he's
in there.
literally he's number 9 right now on the season.
Right around it.
And if they're going to be playing from behind, that puts more pressure on him. And even if they're in passing mode, if they're playing catch up mode, that's still time for him to get out there and run, pick up 12, 15 yards on a scramble. I do like Cam this week, and I'm not normally an advocate of starting Cam. I don't really like him as a fantasy player usually. So yeah, I'll play Cam. On the defensive side, obviously Kuechly. Really,
Outside of that, maybe Maybe a Mike Adams. Maybe, I mean, they're don't have any big name guys other than Luke Kuechly, to be quite honest, and it's tough to play. Kawan Short is getting to the football out of the defensive tackle spot.
First mention in a while for Short.
Yeah, but he's productive on the interior defensive line for them. So I don't see a ton of opportunities in this game for sacks on Andy Dalton. He typically will get rid of the ball on time.
How do we like McCaffrey in this game? I mean, I think they're going to be playing from behind, so I think McCaffrey gives you your 10 for 50, and you're probably 10 catches.
Yeah, I'll play McCaffrey in a PPR league all day. I figure he goes over 100 total anyway.
Which I think he falls in there with the you paid for him. You got to start him every week,
Absolutely.
of course. But still, it's interesting to talk about his game because, you don't know whether it's going to be a big rushing game from one week to the next, but the receiving production's there.
So the interesting on the defensive side for the Bengals, though. So who are you comfortable playing? Because you think
Nick Vigil,
you
for
think
some
it's
reason.
going to be a close game.
Right.
At least I think it's going to be a close game.
Whose assignment is Christian McCaffrey?
Exactly.
It could be Nick Vigil for the better part of the game.
Or Hardy Nickerson Jr. if he draws a start with Preston Brown possibly being
Anybody
injured.
else want a Snickers when you say that game?
No.
Hardy Nickerson.
But I mean,
Makes me want
Nickerson,
Snickers.
he's done okay. He's not been ridiculously good. Preston Brown, as soon as he gets back, he's going to be back in the starting lineup, no doubt about it. But
Bengals defensive line hard to predict.
Yeah.
Any one of them, all of them are good, but none of them are necessarily studs.
yes, there's such a rotation there to where is
Dunlap, Johnson,
Lawson,
Gino.
Wilson, or Willis,
Hubbard.
Sam Hubbard. Who's going to get the sack? I feel like there's probably going to be a couple sacks this game.
You just don't know who they're going to go to.
I'm not comfortable with any of them definitely having a big game. If I had to play one of them, I mean, probably Dunlap.
Yeah,
if
that's
I
what
had to, I'd go Dunlap.
I got to say, right now, Vigil's number 12 overall linebacker in our league format.
I think he has another
very
great
interesting.
game.
Yeah, me too.
I think he keeps it up. Very playable. And the Hardy Nickerson, all seriousness, very waiver wire save.
Yes,
Waiver wire save for your week this week.
I mean, get rid of a Matt Judon or someone like that you're still waiting around to start put up production, and pick up Nickerson to get you some points this week.
Preston Brown most likely
Yes.
out.
Who we got winning the thing?
I'm going to go Bengals. I think the Bengals
going
stay
Bengals.
hot. I like AJ Green as the difference maker in this game, not necessarily Andy Dalton. I think AJ Green is just unstoppable right now. And when we reviewed the Panthers defense right there, I mean, it's Luke Kuechly and a whole lot of other guys.
I'm interested after Arms if Lambert goes against his team. Arms, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Bengals as well.
Hey, against the grain this time,
still,
guy.
I still think that they win 10 games this year. I mean, but they're starting off, 3-0?
If they win this game, Lambert.
I'll take the Bengals in this one.
Hey,
Of course
show
you
some
do.
love.
Of course you do.
Hey, Lambert's kind of rational guy that if he thought they were going to get beat, he'd be like, "Give me the Panthers."
By the way, Dalton, number 7 quarterback right now.
So
I'm
far,
telling you, he's playing
Two
so
well.
far,
weeks
so
in.
good.
Pump the brakes on Dalton.
Man, the
not
offense.
saying so far.
Listen,
So
Andy
far.
Dalton has not always been the best of quarterbacks, but when he has a line, he's top 12 potential.
You could say
Potential.
the same
I'm
for
glad
Eli,
you.
though.
Who?
Eli?
Eli who?
Yeah.
The Book of Eli? Are we talking Denzel Washington?
With a good line. But the
That's
Bengals do
the
have a
most
good line.
popular Eli in my mind right now.
Right.
Bengals line is solid. Do you play
are,
before we get off of we started to talk about Gio. Gio's very, very playable this week.
He is.
Cheap
And Mark
deal.
Walton, if he actually plays, could be one of those DFS flyer picks because Gio's not exactly a ball carrier. They've tried to do that to him before, giving him the ball on a rushing play on 3rd down. I don't know what the heck you guys are thinking. But, I mean, Mark Walton could be a play, but Gio's a definite start to me this week.
Yeah.
Do you like any of the defensive backs for the Bengals? Like a Jesse Bates or a Fidelio?
Jesse Bates is coming into his own. I think Fidelio was like one of those, 15 minutes of fame
Yeah,
moments.
I agree.
But Bates is looking pretty good. I like
Bates.
Bates.
Pretty consistent. He's going to get you 10 points every week, I think.
Yeah, I like Jesse Bates a lot, and for that matter, even though Fidelio hasn't been playing very well, Sean Williams is a top 20 safety and cornerback guy right now. Not a guy we've even mentioned lately. The reason is that he has 19.50 points last week, but that propelled him into the top 16 for right now. So Sean Williams is a guy to keep watch on. If Fidelio was just a flash in the pan, it would be because of Sean Williams.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate too. Sean Williams has been their starter the last few years. Injury, I think you can actually play him with confidence. So that Fidegula thing was just a fluke.
Did he rotate with Aloka
Yeah,
before he left?
A little bit, but he held down the job until he got hurt last year. So I mean, Sean Williams is the starter there.
Do you guys, would any of you take a flyer on Walton this week?
No.
DFS only, just because he's probably cheap.
See, I don't even know if I can. I don't think I could play him in DFS.
I don't think it's a definite. I'm not like suggesting everyone do it, but if I was building a team and I was down to, I only had X amount left and Walton was like the match, like I wouldn't go below Walton to try to find somebody. I'd roll with Walton just because.
He's got to be one of the cheapest players out there in DFS right now, though. Has to be. Without looking at it, I mean, he's just it's Gio's game right now.
I'm glad you said that because I also have to add Brian Hux's 11-minute DFS report to the end of this show. So thank you. You'll get some Brian Hux for the fans of Hux, and there are some
fans of Hux.
Fans of Hux.
Fans of Hux.
I say it again, Barker.
Fans of Hux.
Yeah.
Fans.
Fancy.
Space
fans of Hux.
Space.
Fans of Hux.
Hux.
Fans of Hux.
Okay. Anyway, next game.
It's fancy.
Oh, Bengals. Yeah, we're going to Bengals.
I'm a fans of Hux.
All right. So we got the Bengals winning that one. What's up next, bruh? Get back to us. Come back down.
It's getting way too late. We got the Broncos versus the Ravens. I like this game. I like this game a lot, actually. Case Keenum really isn't. I don't know if we could call him the better quarterback over Flacco as far as like pure quarterback standpoint comes, but I like the Broncos team better than the Ravens. I like the receivers better. I like the running back tandem better, which makes me think that Keenum's going to be the better play in this game over Flacco, even though I think he's inferior talent.
Yeah, not a big Case Keenum fan. I thought I was. And how smart do the Vikings look right now for getting rid of Keenum and Bradford? I mean,
I think they still could have got it done with Keenum, but they do look smart because Kirk Cousins is going nuts.
Yeah, he is absolutely going nuts. But back to Keenum, I mean, he's going to struggle. But the thing about him, he's not afraid to hold the ball. Like, he will pull the trigger and give you a few interceptions. But what that means is he's going to give Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas some opportunities to catch some footballs. And Emmanuel Sanders has looked like a difference maker on that team so far. I think he's a play. Demaryius Thomas.
I'm playing Sanders.
I agree. Yeah. And real quick, before
if
we
I'm
get
going to pick
over
either
yes, that's
Sanders over
yeah,
Demaryius.
I agree 100%. Before I get too far, if you guys need to stop me, because I'm pulling a little Conor McGregor in last night's press conference last night. If I drink too much whiskey and start saying bad words, just shuts me up. But yeah, I like Emmanuel Sanders a ton. I think Cortland Sutton could get rolling in this game.
I don't want to go too deep.
I'm not going that deep.
I think it could happen.
I'm not ready for Cortland Sutton. I think Cortland Sutton, talent-wise, is already the most talented receiver on the game on this team. Excuse me, but from a trust-built standpoint, he's just not there. It's
Emmanuel Sanders. It's Demaryius.
Sanders. But I think he's the most talented rookie, and I think that game where he shows that is coming soon.
If you told me that Cortland Sutton led the Broncos in receiving from week 10 to 17, I'd believe you. But it just isn't this week.
I think this is the flash before week 10.
Yeah. Going to the running backs, man, Phillip Lindsay seems like the real deal. He got the majority of the carries in crunch time, catches the ball out of that backfield. The only thing Royce Freeman did was leech a touchdown off of Lindsay.
Yeah.
So
I think Lindsay's the right choice.
It was a short punch in.
And here's a beautiful thing.
Lindsay got them down there, too. So
beautiful thing about Lindsay, you got a questionable C.J. Mosley, a questionable Matt Judon.
Yeah, soft interior of the Baltimore Ravens defensive line.
So we're looking at, what is it? I don't know how to say his name. Patrick
Owanisor.
Owanisor.
It's like a dinosaur, but
Onwuasor.
Like there's a great play in
just softening up the middle, being able to stretch it.
Just all
great play in IDP because even if Mosley is playing, he may not be quite himself coming back off of an injury.
Yeah, Phillip Lindsay, just to give you a little now, man, the dude has burst, but he doesn't have
wiggle.
Yeah, he's got wiggle and balance, and he catches the ball extremely well. The other thing he doesn't do, which is a good thing, is outrun his blockers. Like he lets his blockers set up down the field, which is a very,
Le'Veon Bell
Don't say it.
thing.
He's got to know it.
That's a Le'Veon Bell characteristic.
Let's
that's
not go
what.
there.
That's
Let's
what
call
he's-
it Joe Mixon
Yeah, but
characteristic.
that is what he's known for. He just waits for the blocks to set up and cuts off them appropriately.
good enough burst to get through the line when he needs to, but not enough speed to outrun his downfield blockers. I think he could be the real deal, to be quite honest. Philip Lindsay looks good.
It really looks that way, and I'm trying not to get Tariq Cohen syndrome like some people did last season, but I don't think this is Tariq Cohen. I think this to you do.
I think so.
You think
I think
Cohen
it's
syndrome?
going to level out. I think it's going to be a running back by committee for the rest of the year.
I kind of think
And I
Lindsey.
hate
That's
that.
at worst for Lindsay, though, because
Yeah,
Lindsay,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, no, because everyone
Yeah.
you spent high to get Royce Freeman
Right.
yeah.
in your rookie draft. I mean, and they said all year long, Freeman's a starter. Freeman's a starter.
And then Lindsay goes
Lindsey
out.
comes-
and
yeah,
he's
exactly.
a third in the league in rushing.
Basically,
plus he
Freeman's
catches the
in
ball.
for the first play, and that's the only.
Yeah,
Right.
but what you've got right now with Lindsey is a little bit of what Alex Collins was doing last year. 10, 15 carries and getting 70-plus yards.
Looks a little more dynamic.
Why,
but
yeah, but what I'm saying is, why not keep giving him the ball?
you have to.
Well,
You
yeah.
know,
Well, and that's what they've been doing. They've been riding that hot hand. That's why he got the majority of the carries last week.
He got the hot hand because right now he's a better running back.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
Dude,
I
and they
mean, Royce
should-
Freeman's
they should-
a little stiff, to be honest.
They should keep feeding him.
And they say it's out of nowhere. I mean, the dude was a Power 5 running back and a very good Power 5 running back. He has talent. He's not an out of nowhere guy. Like, he's the real deal from a talent standpoint, undrafted or not. I think all 31 teams missed on him. So, at worst, it's a timeshare for Philip Lindsay going forward.
I agree. I like Lindsey in this game as well. So I like Keenum. I like Lindsey. I like Sanders. I'm with you guys on that. Do we like anybody offensively for the Ravens? John Brown, I think he's becoming more
He's pretty
safe.
consistent.
Yeah, he's becoming more consistent, more safe.
Which is exactly what we said he would not be.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. We missed the ball on that one, but man, it's really hard to project him overcoming some of that sickle cell issue. I mean, we
And
just
Mile High.
yeah, we just see him as like, if he gets hit hard enough, it's going to take him some recovery time because he's going to have some tissue damage or issues going on there, and that just hasn't been the case so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and maybe it's time to start thinking about John Brown.
Where's the game being played, though?
That's what I was about to say.
It has to be
I
played at
was-
Mile High, but
They may not
No,
play
no, it's playing at
in
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I'm
Okay,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
okay. I was going to say, because I don't think he's allowed to play at Mile High
Yeah.
based on the sickle cell trait.
Yeah, but jumping over to Alex Collins, I think he's a safe play.
I don't know about this week. Their
me
defense, the Broncos' defense,
It's just a
is
pass
so
rush,
good.
but it's a
Javorius
pass
Allen will
rush.
vulture one
No,
too.
I don't think so. They've allowed the 9th fewest points to running backs this year.
But look who they played. I mean, Marshawn's nothing. Yeah,
Okay, Alex Collins' problem with him, usage. They're not using Alex Collins.
They haven't had to.
At all.
They've got this revamped wide receiver core. It may not be the
I
same
get
kind
it, but
of style of
they
team.
need to feed him the ball.
What's killing me is, they're letting Buck Allen vulture at the goal line. Like, the guy's getting 4 carries for 8 yards and a touchdown. Stop it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Collins runs harder.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
he's the better back. It's almost the same thing as Lindsey and Freeman.
Yeah,
yeah,
could turn into.
absolutely.
or Hayden Duke Johnson, for that matter.
Yeah.
No, I do like. I kind of like Willie Snead in this game for the Ravens. I don't think he's going to have a huge game, but I can see him coming away with 5 receptions, 50 or 60 yards.
Especially with the pass rush of Denver's defense, Flacco's going to have to get rid of the ball
Yes.
quick, and Michael Crabtree's more of a downfield play. John Brown's definitely a downfield
Yep.
play. Willie Snead underneath is a sneaky play, and frankly, he's good. I
Hey, if you
mean,
need
young,
10,
he's good.
Snead's
10 to 12
always been pretty
points,
decent.
Snead's right there. I mean, 10 to 12 points every game.
This is one where he should feast. So defensively, man, even though they have Suggs on,
Yeah, but Suggs is not what he used to be. We all know that.
it is tough to predict.
Suggs?
Yeah, it's tough to predict any player on the Baltimore Ravens defense right now with C.J. Mosley out.
Truth. Well, you know what it is. One thing's in the bank. Sit Eric Weddle. You can predict that.
Thanks.
Yeah, dude, guy's washed up. Told you that.
Said him.
I saw it. Like, he's lost several steps. He was never a fast guy, but he's now a slow guy.
It
in the
looks
league.
like he's lost several toes.
Yeah, I mean he's atrocious.
His backup Chuck Clark just chomping at the bit.
Chuck
and
Clark.
Eric. It sounds like a country
He sounds
band.
like he's going to
like
sell
Rick
you
and
a
Morty.
used car.
Chuck and
Chuck
Eric.
and Eric's used cars.
See, you're looking at that 94 Accord.
Chuck what?
Chuck Clark.
Chuck Clark Auto Sales.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if you need to know anything, just get a hold of Chuck Clark.
Chucky Clark. Do.
Don't do it to Arms. Don't start it. Give us some Broncos, Arms. I know you want to give us finish it up.
Well, Brandon Marshall was
Defensively.
questionable, so
He hasn't really performed yet either. It's kind of a spread. It's like spreading the ball out on offense. Like the defense, the tackles are getting spread out. Aside from Justin Simmons.
Yeah, I was going to say Justin Simmons is the only comfortable play in this matchup on this defense, even though they have a good pass rush. I mean, I think Von Miller gets to the quarterback this game, maybe twice. He could be a sneaky linebacker play, but we don't condone the pass rushing linebackers.
Yeah, and
but
we
the
don't
guy's
know
been
about
on
the
fire.
tackle numbers, but man, he's playing well.
He's on fire, and Joe Flacco likes to hold the ball way longer than he should.
if Marshall doesn't play, I mean, maybe take a flyer if Joshi Jewell gets a start. I know he's not the fastest guy, but he does have a nose for the football. He showed that in playing in the Big Ten.
Very Scooby Ridish.
So hey, I'll take a crack on Jewell if I need to put a flyer in there at the very end.
Who you got in this one, Bark?
I've got to go against the grain, even though I said that Keenum was going to outplay Flacco. I'm gonna go Ravens.
I'm sticking with the Broncos, man. I think the Broncos are a real deal. Keenum, again, not scared to throw it, going to throw an interception or two, but I think they have talent around him they can ride to a win here.
After the late comeback, I think this is one of those Keenum games you want to forget.
Man, I mean, the Ravens have lost to the Bengals, and blew out the Bills.
So they've proven nothing this year.
They've proven that they can beat a bad team, and can play well with a good team because they played pretty close with the Bengals for most of the game.
21-0 was, they kind of lost it in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, but
it's more competitive.
Yes,
they don't get off to a
what
bad
I'm saying
start.
is they come back and AJ Green is not on every team doing what he did in that first half. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
I like it. Give me Ravens.
All right. I'm pretty sure I just went true politician on that one, and after talking it out, I switched my alliance from Keenum to Flacco for this game somehow and picked the Ravens to win. But let's go on to interdivision rivalry. We got the Saints versus the Falcons. Somebody tell me what's going to happen in this game because it's one of the most interesting games in the week to me.
Michael Thomas is good at football.
Very.
Alvin Kamara also good at football.
Arms gold right there, both of those guys.
They're untradeable. I'll just say it right now. If you have them, you better be asking for a monstrous package for either player. Not both of them. If you have both of them, you should be winning every freaking game. Unfortunately, I have both of them and don't win every freaking game.
I wonder what the next step was from there.
But, no, all jokes aside, I mean, they're both number one at their position relatively for fantasy scoring purposes.
And you got Kelsey, remember?
And shut up, man. Like, the rest of my team's not that good. Listen, I mortgaged the field to get them. All right, it's Saints. It's the Saints games to win. They're going to win it. Play all of your, you got to play Thomas, obviously Kamara. Breeze is going to have a nice game. I'll kick over to the defense. Jordan Cameron's going to have a good game. I mean, the Saints are going to win this game going away, in my opinion. They are outclassing what Atlanta is at this point.
I'm going against the grain again.
I want to say a little hold up, pump those brakes, man. Atlanta has a decent offense, and New Orleans has a horrid defense, man. I think
the two best players on Atlanta are on the injured reserve.
No.
On defense.
On defense.
That's what I'm saying.
This comes down to the defense, and both defenses are bad.
On par with each other, right?
Yeah,
without those two guys.
The Falcons are figuring out their second string, and the Saints just have a bad defense. I think this is a shootout. I know this is going to be a shootout, and I think Atlanta hangs in there to the end. That said, man, New Orleans had a tough time putting the ball in the end zone last week against Cleveland, right? Yeah.
Well, it's the Browns, baby. That's one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, they had a tough time early on punching it in, but I don't know. Falcons, I like Julio to have a good game, and the emergence of Calvin Ridley getting a little bit involved is not a bad thing. So Tevin Coleman getting the start. Gotta
Guess
love
what?
him in place.
Calvin Ridley, first name's Calvin. His nickname's Emergency.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Emergency play?
Well, emergency like vitamin C.
I got you.
You know that emergency tablet? Maybe I went way off course there.
You're deep, but
did.
I went deep, baby.
but Tevin Coleman, I know.
If Freeman was playing, I would think it'd be a closer game. And that's just because of the ability for them to go Freeman Coleman as necessary. I think that Coleman
like
would wear down a little
Tev,
bit.
I like Edo
I think-
Smith.
I think
like
Tev's
Edo
fine.
Smith more than most. I like Tevin and Edo to be very efficient in this game. I like Julio. I like emergency. And you know what? I like a little slight emergent Austin Hooper.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Slight emergent
Yeah, all
Austin
24
Hooper.
yards on 3 catches, Austin Hooper.
He's going to
Go
get in the
ahead.
end zone, baby.
He's
Another
gonna-
draft diamond guy, Edo, pulling that one out.
Edo.
I like Edo.
Austin
I'm
Hooper,
glad you recognize
I'm not gonna
that.
play. I'm not gonna play him.
Austin
but
Hooper is a crap
No.
sandwich. Like,
Who
get,
catches touchdowns.
Who does nothing but win,
so
no
salty
matter
that he
what.
still started Kittle over Kelsey last week.
You got to talk
If he
crap
would have had
about everyone
Hooper,
else.
if he'd had Hooper, he'd have played him. Hey, Hooper's number 11 overall,
Thank you.
Because it's a terrible tight end landscape.
and he had 5 for 59 and a touchdown last week. The rise of the Hooper is coming.
No, it isn't.
By rise, I mean
the-
5 for 60 per game.
The emergence of Calvin Ridley is going to completely render Hooper irrelevant. Hooper's trash. Get him off your team.
Strongly
Good
disagree.
Lord.
If I had,
Number 10,
if
number
I
10
had,
tight end.
if I had Hooper on my team, that's who I would sacrifice to Matthew Berry.
Give me the Falcons in a thriller. Defensive wise, I want
Falcons.
nobody on this game besides Demario Davis if you have him, because chances are you don't have a linebacker 3 better than a Demario Davis.
I'll take Duke Riley. I'll take Devondre Campbell. I mean,
The Saints aren't going to be running the
But-
ball up the gut.
but hey, I'll take the chance on them getting some tackles. I mean, they seem to have been doing it since Jones went out.
Who did the Saints throw too short?
Nobody. Alvin
No
Kamara.
linebackers for me. though.
Alvin
It's,
Alvin
Yeah.
Kamara.
it's pretty much
but that's the
Kamara
thing.
and Thomas.
I mean, Kamara could have 10, 12 catches in this game and get tackled by some linebackers. That's it.
I like
Here's the-
Foyasadi Alugakun.
What is it?
Dude, whoever they're starting. Do you see the?
You
they're
say something
starting
about the
a
Blue
rookie.
Lagoon?
Yeah, dude, this Foyasadi
Kid out of Yale, he's a rookie.
Quiet words
Alugakun.
of the Virgin Mary.
Getting
Come
the
on,
start at middle linebacker, super cheap. Go get him off your waiver
probably-
wire. Why not?
Got to be
did.
friends. Got to be friends with Fitzmagic, right? Yale Harvard connection.
I paid.
Oh yeah.
I paid $1 for him on my waiver wire. Take a chance on him. I mean, Jones out the rest of the year. Why not?
You mean the waiver wire?
Waiver wire.
Why have you just not trademarked that yet? Wyver. Just flat out Wyver.
Yeah, you
Kind
know.
of like trade canals.
Exactly.
God,
We should have trademarked Trade Canal.
Love getting my trade canal filled. Should we-
If by the way, Marcus Williams, I believe he's questionable. If he plays, he's a start.
He's a questionable play most of the time.
I agree.
Only in real life.
Did you see that game last year?
Coming off one of the best safety seasons of a rookie last year.
No, I know. I had him on my team last year. He was
He's
pretty
good. He's good. Yeah.
I'm taking the Saints in this one, though. It's going to be close. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm actually going to enjoy this one more than the Niners-Chiefs game, I think.
Ooh.
Just two bad defenses.
Taking the
all-
over. He's
Just
taking the
oh,
over.
yes.
those are some
absolutely.
bad defenses. This
By
could
the
be
way-
You could tell me the over's 88. Yep.
Over.
Yeah,
He's
but
taking
we
it.
said this last year, and it was like 14-21.
we did. But
I mean,
you know,
it was like what?
It's a
And, like
different
they
year.
all let you down. By the way, notable. Obviously, Freeman's out. Tack McKinley's questionable, but if McKinley plays, I'm going to take all defensive ends in this game.
Another good game should be the Chargers and Rams. The Rams have pretty much destroyed everyone they've played. I think if there's a team that could possibly hang with them out of these first 3 games, could be the Chargers.
Dude, the Chargers have looked very good, even though they played the Bills, got off to a massive lead. Melvin Gordon looked good. He's involved in the passing game. He gets the ball on short yardage. I mean, he's good for a touchdown every week and can have those big games week in and week out. You know?
Eckler's look good as well.
And Melvin Gordon gets overlooked every year.
He really does.
He's the number 2, I believe, overall fantasy production running back right now.
Pretty close match, to be honest. Like Todd Gurley versus Gordon and Eckler. That's a pretty good matchup because Eckler
absolutely.
kind of covers the catches Gurley gets, and Melvin Gordon runs in the same fashion as Gurley runs. That's a good running back matchup in my opinion. It's a good passing matchup as well, but
I like
my
the
eyes
development.
are on the running backs.
Eyes are on the running backs, but I think Jared Goff could have a good game because of the firepower Phillip Rivers brings.
Yeah, the
to
Chargers
that
don't have the same defense as what the Rams do.
Yeah,
by
well,
no means.
I'm looking for Goff to have a good game and keep doing what he does, and that's distribute it to each wide receiver. Cooper.
Yeah, wide receiver, no tight ends.
Absolutely no tight ends. But
tight ends are for blocking.
Yeah, Cooper Kupps, Brandon Cooks, and Robert Woods all could have a little bit of have some fantasy value this week.
The only one I'm playing with absolute confidence at this point is Cooks, though. The other two are wide receiver threes.
Agreed. Do you get the feeling that if Rob Gronkowski was a LA Ram, that he would be coming up to Goff in between every play? Like, dude, I was open, and Goff's like, no, you weren't.
Dude,
You'd never hear the name
I don't throw
Rob
the
Gronkowski.
You would never hear the name.
If he played in LA.
I'll throw into you. You're a tight end. Like, no.
why are you even running block
So
for
you know
me?
what you did, Rob?
How are you
missed
still
a
on this
block.
team?
yeah.
You missed a block.
You missed a
14
block,
plays
man.
ago.
You play for us? Go sit on a bench. I need Higbee out there blocking.
Where is that?
So
Rick?
disappointing.
Oh, goodness. Who you guys got in this game? I do want to say Chargers because of Phillip Rivers and the firepower. I love Mike Williams in this game, too. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both. The tight ends have done next to nothing.
Yeah.
You got Eckler and basically those two receivers and some Melvin Gordon. I like both receivers in this game in what I think is going to be another shootout.
Again, we talked about Mike Williams being a red zone threat only, and that's what it turned out early against the Bills. He got involved early, got his touchdown, and they pretty much went shutdown mode. But I think he gets more and more involved as the season goes on and becomes a very good play, a cheap play in DFS for a touchdown and progressively more receptions.
In the Battle of LA, I think you obviously Keenan Allen, you start with confidence. Gordon did nothing except for score touchdowns last week. I mean, if you look at the statistics outside of getting into the end zone, he was trash, like 55 total yards. But
in the first quarter, though.
But he scores. He just scores.
Yeah.
Eckler at this point is production-wise, yardage-wise, the better running back, which is insane to me. Eckler's still a huge value in DFS. And there's a lot of people who still don't kind of recognize the name. They're like, he's still Melvin Gordon's backup. He's still Melvin Gordon's backup. No, that is a committee at this point.
He's having a Duke Johnson type year this year where he's going to catch a ton of balls.
I mean, and Eckler's he'll get 10 carries, but he's getting 75 yards, 77 yards. Like he's a fine play. Start him with absolute confidence.
John
Johnson on defense all day.
Guys, I'll tell you one I'm staying away from. Stay away from Melvin Ingram. He's done nothing so far this year.
He really hasn't.
I mean, if you're going to,
he needs Bose on the other side.
Yeah.
Bose has got to eat up some of the.
I mean, if you got to play a Rams
Double
defensive
team.
lineman,
Yeah.
it's got to be
Yeah,
Isaac
absolutely.
Rochelle. I mean, that's the thing. He's the one actually producing right now. To me, you're got to play Denzel Perryman with confidence because I mean the Rams are just going to keep trying to force that ball down the field, or excuse me, down the throat.
In the middle with it, yeah. Gurley's going to pound it in there. Jaleel Dye could be involved. Derwin James still
I was
not.
getting ready to say, don't forget about Derwin.
Derwin's a good play. Like I like that 1-2 punch they have there when they commit to James and a Dye on the field at the same time. Derwin just looks good for a rookie.
The one thing about Derwin James is if you kind of scope out what they've got on defense, he's the most likely to be able to shadow, a Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Like he's the one who can keep up with him on the pass routes things. So look for him to be matched up with Gurley several times this week.
Yeah.
Who you got? I'm taking the Rams in this one. I think it's going to be another good one, but the Rams are really good. Wouldn't surprise me. I'd say they win by 10.
Yeah, competitively, I think it's going to be a very good game, but I think the Rams just have too much firepower. Goff's smart enough at a young age to duel it out with the Phillip Rivers. Rams all day, better defense.
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Rams all day, my bad.
I'm going to go with the Rams. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than we think, but I think that's all the Chargers trying to push back in the fourth quarter with a lot of passing, a lot of receptions for the running backs, a lot of, just hammering on Allen. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
I think these next two game previews, Lamb, who you got?
Oh, and this last one? Yeah.
Rams?
Definitely. Their defense is too good.
By the way, I'll play Corey Littleton again because Mark Barron is doubtful again.
There you go. These next two games should be pretty breezy. Bears, Cardinals.
Bears.
Give me the Bears and Jordan Howard being the only guy I want to play offensively in the whole game. And I mean that. Jordan Howard's the only guy I want on offense in this game. Defense, a little bit different
I
story.
like for Khalil Mack to get a touchdown.
A passing touchdown, possibly.
He might.
One of his best Kevin Byard impression.
He might. I like Allen Robinson, though. Why not? And give me some Buddha rocking everywhere. Dude, I'll take Buddha Baker for that on defense for the Cardinals.
Fitzgerald's questionable going into the week. Tough to call it with as bad as that quarterback play has been. I mean, it's Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, he's aging, but he just doesn't have someone who could throw him the ball. And how disappointing are you if you drafted David Johnson?
Oh, they're not using him correctly at all.
There's nothing going on there. They don't try to get him the ball. They don't give him carries.
Yeah,
You're
just
a
hand
frustrated
it to him
owner.
and throw it to him.
And you know what? It continues this week.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
The Bears' defense is for real. I
Yep,
think you got to
absolutely.
sit David Johnson, even if you have the investment in him. There's better values out there in an Ito Smith, and that is very sad to say.
Austin Eckler, if you got Phillip Lindsay, you should be starting him. But now, honestly, before his value tanks even more because of how bad this Arizona Cardinals team is, now you need to try to sell David Johnson, someone who still believes in him.
Yeah.
Because
I do not believe he's going to have a bounce back. He's not going to get it together.
I don't either.
Yeah, sell high.
But if you are a team that's not that good, you may want to hold on.
I don't know. I just
If you're not competing for a title this year, if it's obvious that you're not one of the better teams in your league, I still hold a little bit because I think Rosen's going to help him out.
Eventually, that quarterback change is coming. I'm telling you
it
here.
has to. All jokes aside,
Injury or poor play?
Did they
Poor
not break
play.
200 or did they not break 100 last week?
I
It was
think
bad.
I think it was 2, but I think it was even closer to 100, to be honest.
Like that's pathetic. This is literally what you're being paid to do, Sam Bradford. Deliver the ball downfield.
I think
you
they're going
have,
to feed David Johnson this week. It's not going to matter.
but
Bears are
there's-
good.
No, the Bears.
Let's say
defense
they can
was
give him
good.
20 carries and target him 15 times.
Not gonna
He
matter.
might not end up with 50 total yards.
Yep. Bears are good. That defense looks like they're going to be that defense that progressively gets better, like the Jags last season.
They're just figuring out how to use
how to play together.
Yeah.
That Bears defense is on fire.
I don't know about Trubisky and company on offense. I think they might still be very Bortles-like all season
I think
long.
Trubisky does enough, though.
No,
You
that-
got that defense. He doesn't have to do a whole lot. He doesn't have to play like
Right.
Stafford or
That's what I'm
Rodgers.
saying.
I mean, he's-
Offensively, fantasy-wise, like Jordan Howard's
Look
really...
at Dak last year.
Who?
You heard me.
What's
Hey,
Nope, never heard of her.
I'm still on that one. I like the Allen Robinson
We got
goal.
Dak next.
Oh yeah, we're coming up together. I like the progression of Mitchell Trubisky to end on it. I'm not playing him, but that Charles Nagy offense is different. It's got a lot of different looks because they can run.
Kind of nagging.
They can take Tariq Cohen and line up a wide receiver, H-back with Jordan Howard. I mean, that offense I think is going to get better as they need it. When they need Mitchell Trubisky, he can be there.
So I don't care what the depth chart says. Roquan Smith is now the starter.
Yeah.
Opposite of Danny Trevathan, and I'm playing both of them this game, and they're going to
Agreed. 'cause
feast.
I agree.
They might
'cause
have 10 tackles each before halftime because the Cardinals are going to absolutely give up on passing the ball. Or, excuse me, running the ball. And they're going to have to pass, and here comes Khalil Mack.
No, I think-
Khalil Mack feasting.
See, I think the opposite. I think the Cardinals are going to try to feed David Johnson to see if it sparks their offense. And
That's
one,
what
I
I'm
don't-
saying. They're
Oh,
going to try to
okay.
feed him before halftime, and it's not going to work. And
You
they're
said
gonna
they're going to give up. See, I don't think they're going to give up the whole game because I don't think the Bears' offense can put them in a position to where they have to abandon the run.
I think that the Cardinals are so bad that it's not. They're going to be behind. They're not getting into the end
Not
zone.
by enough to abandon the run. in my
This is a
opinion.
blowout. I got this thing. Bears by 3 scores, man. It's their defense could
Bears by
shut
3.
them out. Shut them out. 3-0.
Field goal is what wins it.
I don't see the Cardinals how they're gonna maintain consistent drives in this one,
Who's going to catch the ball for the Cardinals?
especially if Larry Fitzgerald's out.
Just saying.
I mean,
They have guys. They have a breakout candidate, just like some of these other teams. His name's Christian Kirk. He could turn it on at any time and have a game in place of Larry Fitz. Chad Williams might actually get a catch or two because of it. Is it possible that Fitz is just slowing down?
No, I think it's the offense. That's
No, I'm
holding
not
him
saying
up.
the offense is good. I'm saying, is it a perfect storm for the Cardinals right now of a
He just
running
so
back
happened to
coming back
dip
off an
when
injury?
The offense dipped.
Just saying.
but if
They
you,
could
if you
go
look
hand
at,
in hand.
If you look over at the Bears, now Amukamura was trash previous, to this point in his career, but all of a sudden now he shows up. I think he had a pick 6 last week, You know, Adrian Amos, fine safety. Eddie Jackson's looking good. You know, Kyle Fuller's an okay.
More like Freddie Jackson.
Little fact: Adrian Amos, brother of Tori Amos.
Oh yeah, cool.
Animated bites.
Cool. Anyhow,
Akeem Hicks is a decent play on the defensive line.
But Sam Bradford is a god awful quarterback. And if I was,
I've heard that a few times.
Here's the thing: like, Josh Rosen might play the second half of this game.
He should.
And we might see that transition to where they're like, all right, we are that bad. Sam Bradford's going to be like, oh, man, I hurt my cartilage in my ribs that you can't see.
And I'm going to retire.
The Browns are playing their rookie.
Yeah.
The Bills are playing their rookie. Their Jets are playing their rookie. Why not play Josh Rosen?
That'd be the only reason to watch this game. See Josh Rosen come in.
Truth.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick a Cardinals quarterback to play, it'd be Josh Rosen this game, and he's not starting.
I'd probably go with Kevin Byard myself, but so we got the Bears winning this one, right? You guys do. I got them by 3.
Yeah.
Not much more to talk about there.
You like Amanda Bynes' brother, Josh?
Yeah, he's been playing well. I like him a lot.
Antoine Bethea?
Yep, I like them all. Hassan Reddick sit him. He's just not done anything yet.
No.
And moving on to Cowboys Seahawks. The battle for fantasy top 30 supremacy between Carr and Dak. It all comes down to this, baby. Dak versus that depleted Seahawks defense. Before I even say anything else, I got the Cowboys winning this one easily.
Really?
I do.
I do not like the Pete Carroll Seattle Seahawks this year. I mean, it's just tough. I'm not a Chris Carson fan. I've thought Russell Wilson's been overrated for a while. Doug Baldwin's hurt. I mean, not from fantasy purposes. He's going to throw him up, but Russell Wilson's just.
I think that
I don't
guy's
know,
done
it's
it
tough.
without ever having a full slate of weapons.
It's tough.
And
for
he
Russell
still
Wilson.
does it,
I mean,
though.
his O-line's terrible.
Not easy being Russell.
His best receiver has 2 bad knees. It's
His best
rough.
running back may not even be on the team.
I wouldn't start Russell Wilson this week.
No, I wouldn't either.
And that's insane.
Cowboys defense,
That's quarterback one last
Cowboys
year.
defense
I know,
is
but
sneaky
that's
good.
No, I'm
the
not.
reason
I'm not
I give
denying
Cowboys
it,
to win.
but you paid the price to get Russell Wilson. You're saying to not start him.
Oh yeah, start Fitzmagic
Like that.
instead.
That is
It's magic.
Who the fuck is
if you-
Russell Wilson?
if you've got him. So obviously, Baldwin's out. KJ Wright's out. Earl Thomas is questionable.
Rough go.
All right, so that the Seahawks have, as bad as their defense was, based on people retiring, getting hurt, getting traded. I mean, gosh, the Cowboys have a questionable Xavier Woods, who hasn't played yet this year, and a questionable
Supposed to play
Sean
this
Lee,
week.
which could be replaced by Riggins, Idaho native, hometown of Dan Cummins.
Dan Cummins?
Leighton Vander Esch.
Oh yeah.
He probably should be replaced by him anyhow.
Leighton Vander Esch.
I think Dan Cummins would be great for these Cowboys.
Vander Esch may end up pulling the start. If you're going to play a player, I mean, gosh, the Cowboys, Zeke, they don't have a receiver I want. None, nobody. I don't care. I don't care. Cole Beasley, and even a PPR, I don't want him. I don't want any receiver on either team.
Zeke's going to have a great game.
Literally, Zeke might have 250 yards in
Lockett's-
the total yardage of both teams combined might be 350 yards. I mean, this could get
Lockett's
bad.
a safe play.
The leading rusher for the Seahawks might be Russell Wilson.
Russell.
So
That's not an exciting game, defensively or offensively, for fantasy purposes. It's ugly.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Has there been an exciting Cowboys game this year?
No,
Like
there
what?
hasn't. But they're
Good
1-1.
news is
Or Seahawks game.
this is where Dak overtakes Derek Carr.
unlikely.
I love it.
Unlikely. There's still Bradley McDougald back
like
there.
it.
Earl Thomas might play. You've got Frank Clark rushing the
Just
passer.
holding out hope, Arms.
Every Cowboys game is like watching a New Jersey Nets game.
That bad, huh?
that
But
bad.
that said, I'll take the Dallas Cowboys in this one. Just
Defense wins this one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'll take the Cowboys too.
The boys.
I'll take Cowboys, but it's going to not be a pretty game to watch.
Oh no, it's gonna be pretty ugly. Patriots Lions. We're not going to see Josh Gordon yet. Is this going to be the rise of Carry On, or is this going to be the rise of Sony Michel? I mean, those are the two players that come to mind for me instantly. Marvin Jones also questionable. Kenny Golladay could be massive in this game, but I'm really interested to watch the running backs in this one.
So I think Carry On has a fine game. The Patriots just aren't what they used to be. Kenny Golladay, I think he has a good game.
I think Stafford has a fine. Stafford's very playable, probably a top 10 guy this week. I think it could be a shootout. The Pats defense doesn't have a whole lot, and the Lions defense is terrible. So I think both quarterbacks are playable. I like Sony Michel in this one, man. I would play Sony Michel hands down.
Check out this question: is this a game between two mediocre teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very mediocre. I mean, the Lions are a bad team.
When's the last time we could say the Patriots might be mediocre?
I'm not ready to anoint them mediocre yet.
I'm not saying they definitely are.
I'm going to go
with
with the Patriots this week because they do still have Tom Brady, and I think Sony Michel does come into his own this week. First time actually getting kind of the full-time role. In theory, we all know how Bill Belichick doesn't actually like fantasy football, apparently.
Yeah.
And it would be like, Sony Michel's getting started. Here's 27 carries, James White. I hate Aaron Arms.
Wait, Brandon Bolden got signed and came back and led the team in carries this week?
Like, that could happen. Rex,
what is Chris Dillon doing out there?
Yeah,
Corey Dillon.
Corey Dillon. Yeah, Rex Burkhead could get 30 carries. It's not going to happen, but, if I'm going to pick a player for the Patriots, remember, Josh Gordon could play. He could play. He's questionable with a hamstring. But I'm going to go Chris Hogan, Sony Michel, Tom Brady. Gronk, of course. If I had to say it, and then you don't play fantasy football. For the Lions, Tate and
and Stafford.
Carry-on and Galladay.
I think the Lions put the Patriots in panic mode.
I think Galladay has over 100 yards and a touchdown again this week.
Yeah. You ready to predict the Lions?
Give me 200 for Galladay.
Jesus.
That's a
just because Lambert owns him.
It's a tall order.
Just because Lambert owns him. Give me 200 Galladay yards.
Give me 7 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown.
Give me 7 for 2.
He's going to garner a lot of targets.
I have a cousin named Garner.
Galladay's going to finish this week as a wide receiver 1.
Defensive wise, Arms, start us out. Who you like on D?
Gerard Davis, Christian Jones, and Glover Quinn. That's about it.
I like Glover, and I like our boy on the other side, Mr. Safety, extraordinaire
Devon
himself.
McCourty?
Yeah.
Give me
him. Yeah, give me him, and give me Glover. But
I'll take Trey Flowers.
Yeah,
Defensive end for the Pats.
He got an injury designation.
I didn't see one.
He had a concussion last week.
I could have overlooked.
Start him,
it,
Arms.
If I've got him, I might. I mean, that's a bad Lions team. Now, one thing I will say, the linebackers on both sides could eat. Because if either team's going to try to establish a running game.
I don't see it. I think it's
they're having a
game.
carry in with carry on.
I think I think this might be the opportunity for carry on to have break 100 yards this week.
Both
taking
rookie
the
running
Lions.
backs. Taking the Lions in this one?
I think it's carry on and Galladay day.
I'm still going Patriots. I do not like the Lions whatsoever. Their defense is just putrid, and I think
did they feel
Brady
the defense this year?
Yeah, Brady and Gronk are going to feast. If anything,
the only reason the Lions' defensive players are scoring is because the other team is trying to continuously run the clock out.
More or less.
I mean, the team's bad. So, Pitt, Tampa Bay?
Yeah. Lambert, who you got in that game? The game we just talked about.
Yeah, I'll take the Lions.
Okay. Hey, I was wanting somebody to get on board with me, so I appreciate that. So, yeah, we've got Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. Let's start it off. This should be a good one.
This should be.
Should it?
I like offense, man.
Should it be a good game?
I think so. I mean, Tampa Bay apparently is not ready to be Tampa Bay again. They're going to keep trying to win games, and this has the potential for yet another shootout.
Dude, the swagger is real.
Gonna have a ton of yards.
Dude, the swagger is real in
that post-game conference that he gave.
Dude, that was gold.
We'll be talking about that for the next year. Every episode from here until this time next year,
we
will talk about it.
I hope he keeps doing what he's doing so he could wear D-Jax's outfit.
His little baby jacket.
Yeah.
Dude, is any of that yours? Yeah, the chest hair. God, that was great.
One sweet jacket. All right, but besides the debacle that was Fitzmagic wearing Deshaun's clothes and
That
stuff,
was beautiful. That wasn't a debacle.
It was. It really was. But I don't want to stray away too far because it's the last game, baby, and we got the DFS report coming up with the always excitable Brian Hucks. And I just want to get through this one. Juju probably going to go nuts in this one. Antonio Brown probably going to go nuts in this one.
You're going to have 4 top 15 receivers in this game.
Agreed.
4. The number 3 receiver right now in fantasy football is Deshaun Jackson. Number 4
Nuts.
is Mike Evans. Number 7 is Juju Smith-Schuster. And number 11 is Antonio Brown.
Crazy that we're talking
And it's
about
not
Brown
going
that
to
far down.
stop. This is going to continue. They're going to both do this week. We've seen that the Tampa Bay defense, you can score on them.
Suspect.
Yeah, very easy. Not easy. Excuse me. Very. What's the word? Very suspect. Yeah, very suspect defense.
No, nice word.
And the Steelers, their defense just isn't that good anymore.
No, it's not.
Now, defensive players, IDP wise, they've got studs on both sides.
Yeah, you can play linebackers from the Buccaneers all day long. You can probably play Vince Williams, might be an okay play this week. You still have yet to see anything out of the Buccaneers as far as like commitment to the run goes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a problem with Vince Williams.
Right.
I think he's going to be lost in coverage most of this game. I'd stray away from him if you have a different option there.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the game starts slow with teams trying to establish the run before saying, you know what, screw it, I'm Fitzmagic, I'm Big Ben, we've got receivers to throw to.
Dude, Chiefs didn't start slow against the Steelers last week. This is going to be high scoring, fast paced game. A lot of balls down the field. I don't see any.
I agree.
rushing.
I just think it don't start till the second.
I don't know what the over under on this is, but I would be willing to bet over 80.
Oof. Yeah, flirting with 80
I'm not
anyway.
going that high. I'll go
38-42 is not out of the realm.
I'm going to say flirting with 75, something like 42, 35.
35-26.
To me, this is going to be just an absolute shootout. I mean, two quarterbacks that are definitely not afraid to throw the ball downfield, receivers who are more than capable of doing anything with the ball in their hands.
Premier matchup of wide receivers.
Honestly, the scale tipper for talent-wise on offense is, of all people, James Conner, because they can't establish a run in Tampa Bay. They haven't even. I don't think they've had Ronald Jones active yet.
They haven't.
I mean,
healthy scratch every week.
So what? Peyton Barber, Jaquiz Rogers. I mean, who? Do you trust any of them? Because I don't think they've gained. I'm not exaggerating. I don't think they've had 50 yards on the ground in Tampa Bay yet.
They might. Peyton Barber had one game where I thought he came, where he was nearing that.
He might have, but I didn't see it.
But maybe no one else got to carry that game. I don't know. But as far as the passing offenses go, light them up, roll them out.
Every wide receiver,
every
start
single wide receiver, all the way down to Darius Hayward Bay,
Godwin,
Please, no.
It's not
he's
scary.
questionable with a toe.
all the way down to Adam Humphries.
Barber had 69 week one, like 22 the next week.
Okay.
Over under is
bad.
53.5.
Bet the over with
I'll
confidence.
take over. Yeah, I'm going over.
I
But
can
I'm not
see
going
one of the
80.
teams break that.
Well, Fitzmagic alone is going to have more.
Who the fool has been Roethlisberger? Who that guy?
So on the defensive side, we know who the offensive players are and who's going to play. You don't play any Tampa running back. You play both quarterbacks if you've got them. You play all the wide receivers that you could possibly fit onto your roster. Defensively for the Steelers. I'm going to go Cam Hayward. He's having a good year again. He's never going to get you 4 sacks in a game, but you know what? He's always going to be around the quarterback, get a few tackles, and usually end up with a sack or a half sack.
JPP played well last game. I think JPP, Ben gets the pressure does get to Ben. He usually sidesteps it, but we always see him almost fumble or get sacked a game. I think JPP gets there at least once.
Ben will get hit 15 times every game. The thing is, he'll usually shrug off 14 of them and still throw a strike for a first down. I mean, he's the most elusive guy that can't run a 5-flat 40. It's just insanity to me to watch him move in the pocket, take one step forward, and make someone miss. But I do like JPP to possibly get a sack this game. As you said, play the linebackers all the way. For Tampa Bay, Quan Alexander's going to eat. Levante David's going to eat.
I'm taking Tampa Bay in this one, man. I think Ryan Fitzmagic gets it done again. I just don't like the Steelers. 0-3, and there's some certain commotion, even worse than last week in Pittsburgh.
So if we're looking at, I'm going to go Tampa Bay too. But guys, is this a changing of the guard, like an official changing of the guard in the AFC at this point? Who's been the class? It's been the Steelers and the Patriots.
Yeah,
and then there's teams that pop up. But
Chiefs and Dolphins.
You know what I mean? There's teams that pop up, and the Broncos a few years back, but that's been it. It's been the Steelers and Patriots. I mean,
the Patriots are going to gel. We know the Patriots are going to gel. I don't think the Steelers do. Honestly, Unless they get Le'Veon back. I mean,
If
how
they
do
go,
how do
if
they
they
end
go
it at this
0-3,
point? It's not
or
going to.
do they just say, okay, here's a blank check?
I don't think they go 0-3. I think they win this game. Fitzmagic comes back down to earth a little to what we were talking about last game, where he's like more of the 250 and 2.5 touchdown average. Like, I think it's about that time. I think the Steelers pull one off, get their first victory, and start to convince their fan base that nothing's wrong.
Tampa Bay all the way.
It's very wrong in Pittsburgh.
Oh, no, I agree.
Everything's wrong.
I agree, but I think Pittsburgh's going to be like, oh, there's nothing wrong. We just won. Took a few games to get started. I still think there's something wrong. Like,
Yeah.
the defense, to me, is the biggest thing that's wrong. And I will say, they could use the upgrade in Lev, but not for the money.
I just
Not
don't, I
getting
don't
back
think
into that, but
the production is that astronomically different, but they have been in the
defense
games.
is just not
Their
good.
defense is atrocious, and honestly, more than anything, that's Ryan Shazier. Ryan Shazier's no longer there, and he was that sideline to sideline, get to the ball. I mean, faster than any running back in the league. Ryan Shazier was a difference maker, and that's what this defense is really missing right now.
A difference maker.
Yes.
Yeah, and some corners. So the pass defense is just not good.
That's why Fitzmagic goes off.
Again. I like it. I like it.
As I said about Pat Mahomes, why not? Why not?
Squeaker, Steelers.
Nah. I like the high scoring though.
I think it's 6 points, Tampa Bay. And the difference in this game, yes, great receivers, but it's going to be that one O.J. Howard touchdown.
Give me the Jesse James touchdown.
I'll raise you a Jesse James
I'll raise you
touchdown.
a
The
Jesse
outlaw.
James.
I love
The
I love
crotch
that nickname.
chops. Suck it. All right. Well, that's it. We've got the DFS report coming. You guys excited for some blazing DFS action?
Dude, I'm ready for it. Roll it out to me.
It's time
Fast
for
forward to
the
it.
DFS Super 11 Minute from Brian Hooks.
Love you, Hux.
Love you, Hooks. Bark's out.
Good night.
Bye, Hooks.
Tip.
Lambert's out. Enjoy Hooks. DFS report is on now.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Hooks here with your back row DFS report for week 3. Season's flying by already. Got Chalk City at running back once again this week. We'll get to them in a few minutes. Let's start off with quarterbacks. My favorite quarterback this week is Jared Goff. He's at 5,900. They have a team implied total of 27.5 currently, and they're 7-point favorites at home. The over-under on that game is 48. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Chargers should be able to keep up a little bit. I don't know if they'll cover that spread, but I think they'll keep it competitive. So Goff will have to throw the ball around. My fade this week, and this is just on price alone, and it's the same reason why I faded Rivers last week, is Kirk Cousins, 6,800. Obviously, great matchup against Buffalo, who they're going to destroy. But if I'm going to spend up, I'm going to pay the $200 more and get Patrick Mahomes, or go a couple $100 cheaper, $400 cheaper to Drew Brees. I think Cousins will put up a similar stat line to Rivers last week, a couple touchdowns. I just don't see him throwing the ball more than 25 to 30 times this week. He'll have an efficient game, a couple touchdowns, but at 6,800, I'm not going to pay up for him. My value play is Matt Ryan once again this week at 5,700. They're at home against the Saints, and a projected over-under of 53.5 currently. They're favored, implied total of 28. This is the shootout that it's projecting to be. Ryan's going to easily exceed value. At running back, it's going to be low owned, and his price has dropped each week at 6,900 week 1. He's down to 6K this week. It's Kareem Hunt, who had the highest over-under this week with 49ers Chiefs at 55.5 currently. Chiefs are implied to score 31.25 points currently, and they're a home favorite of 6.5. Hunt's going to have a breakout week. Let's hope it's this week. My fade this week is David Johnson once again. His price has dropped down to 7,200, but until they show that they're going to get him involved in that offense, he's just not worth paying up for right now with all the other options around him. If I keep fading him every week, one week it's going to bite me in the ass, but I'll take my chances again this week. Value at running back. Sproles and Ajayi out for Philadelphia, so I'm locking in Corey Clement, 4,300. He's going to have a heavy workload. Should have a heavy workload. Philadelphia's applied total is 27. Favored by 6.5 against Indy at home. Obviously, Dalvin Cook is out. Latavius Murray is a good play. Giovanni Bernard will have a heavy workload for Cincinnati. I'm not sold on playing Gio this week. Not a big fan of his matchup against Carolina, but I can see why people were going to go that route. At wide receiver, my favorite play is T.Y. Hilton, 6,700. Indy will probably be playing from behind. Luck will probably have to throw the ball 40 to 50 times again. I like T.Y. Hilton to see 10 to 15 targets this week. If he can find the end zone, he'll easily meet value. My value play is Calvin Ridley. Looked good last week. Getting involved in the offense, scored a touchdown. He's at 3,700. And Julio is going to play this week, but he was limited with a calf in practice, so maybe Ridley will get even more targets this week. But at 3,700 and that projected high-scoring game, I think Ridley easily meets value. Another value guy I like this week is Robert Woods. I like pairing him with Goff this week. I think Woods will be busy. A fade this week is Tyreek Hill. His price has got jacked up to 8,500, rightfully so. But if I'm paying up to 8,500, I'm paying 400 more for Michael Thomas, who's just been on another level from anybody else. At tight end, my favorite tight end, and I usually don't pay it for tight end, but I like Zach Ertz this week. I think he'll be lower owned than Kelsey, who's $100 cheaper. He's actually and I'm not completely fading Kelsey because I'll have some Chiefs stacks, but Kelsey is my fade, but he's more or less low owned. I'll be lower owned than the field with Kelsey this week. 49ers are pretty decent against the tight end, especially as long as now if Jaquiski Tartt is not playing, then that might change things up, but he defends the tight end pretty well. My value tight end with Jack Doyle out is Eric Ebron, 3,400. No surprise there. He scored a touchdown each of the first 2 weeks. And Will Dissly, another one, who's 3,300. They're at home. Seattle's at home for the first time this year. And he's shown big playability the first 2 weeks. So I think he could easily meet value once again. Some defenses I like this week. And Vikings defense is priced all the way up at 4,300. They're going to have a good game, but I'm not paying all the way up to 4,300 for them. I like the Bears at 3,500. Great matchup against Arizona. I like the Eagles at 3K. Just the fact they're at home. They're probably going to get a couple interceptions off Luck. Get to them a sack a couple times. Texans against the Giants. There's some low priced defenses this week. I like the Dolphins matchup against the Raiders. And then going some stacks I like this week. I think some different variations of the 49ers Chiefs game is going to be the chalk stack this week. I like an Eagle stack with Wentz, Ertz, Clement, And you could run that back with somebody from the Colts, Ty or Ebron, or well, not Ebron. Well, you could put Ebron if you want to do 2 tight ends, but I don't typically do that. On the Colts side, if you want to do a Colts stack, you can do Luck, Ty, Ebron. Look, I like Naheem Hines this week with Marlon Mack out. Mack missed week 1, and Hines had seven catches. Didn't have many yards, but he has the speed to break one. So I look for him to be targeted in the passing game once again this week. I think he's a cheap pivot, along with Lindsey from Denver. He's a cheap pivot off them other lower priced value running backs this week, like Clement and Gio and them guys. Falcons Saints will probably be pretty popular just because of the value that Julio and Matt Ryan both provide. Different variation of the Saints stack. You can go Breeze and Thomas, or Breeze Kamara, or if you want to figure out a way to do both. But I probably won't have Breeze, Kamara, and Thomas. But if I don't have Kamara there, I might run it back with Gurley at running back. A lot of my lineups will likely have one or the other. Some lower owned stacks I like. I think, and this is a cheap stack too with the Ravens. They're implied to score 25 points this week. They're at home. Flacco and John Brown. John Brown scored both weeks so far. I actually like running that back with Lindsey from Denver because I think Denver's going to have to throw the ball, and Lindsey will be one of the focal points. I like a Texan stack with Watson and Fuller, and man, does Watson look like a different quarterback with Will Fuller out there. And then, of course, I already talked about the Rams. I like them. With Goff and Woods and Cooks, I like that stack if you want to be different and not use Gurley in a Ram stack. I like running that back with the Chargers side too, with either Keenan Allen or Melvin Gordon. I think Rivers will be lower owned, but I think he's going to have to throw the ball a lot if they want to compete in that game. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap that up for this week. You can follow me on Twitter at bhux83. And thanks for listening.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.